There we go.
Yay.
Yay!
Alright.
So
Yay, we're back!
episode
17. Sorry it's been so long, because,
only 3 weeks.
yeah, 3 weeks, but,
That's nothing compared to what we've done before.
oh, God, I know. But, sorry it took so long. I know we were back in a schedule of an episode a week, so hopefully we'll get back to that. But since we've been off for so long, JJ, what have you been up to?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Nothing?
No, I sold my truck.
Yeah, that I knew.
That sucked. But,
Shit happens.
nope, nothing.
Nothing at all. No reading.
Oh, well, if you want to go that way, I've watched a few horror movies. I actually just recently purchased,
Metropolis.
Metropolis, thanks. The 1927 sci-fi.
Fritz Lang.
Yes.
The Fritz Lang film.
Yep.
Which you and I are obviously fans of. We've talked about on numerous occasions.
So, I finally got that.
Cool. Alright, but before we get into what I did this week, I gotta ask. Did you read Neil Gaiman's Sandman issue number 8?
No.
You haven't read it yet?
No!
Oh.
You freaking gave it to me too, and I totally forgot about it when I got home.
Oh, you
And so, when I took my computer bag out,
Yep.
and I was going to put my computer in it,
Yep.
I looked, I was like, oh shit, that's right, freaking, down ass. So, it's on the list for today.
Alright, well, now it's my turn to talk about what I've done. And actually, I haven't done a lot either, especially horror-wise, outside of watching the movies for this review.
Yep.
I've been watching a lot of superhero flicks. Watched like Spider-Man. And
Superhero binge?
very much so. I've been on a comic binge in general because I've been reading a lot of comics. Obviously, when you and I met up earlier this week, my stack of comics was like this, and now it's like this. So,
yeah, he showed me. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was bad. But I'm gonna let my nerdness fly here. I've been watching unofficial Sentai Akiba Ranger. I just finished season 1. For those of you who have been watching the show and or even fucking know me for that matter, I'm a huge Power Ranger Super Sentai fan, and I've been watching the Japanese stuff, the Super Sentai stuff, more. And a friend of mine sent me a link to this one called Unofficial Sentai Akiba Ranger, where it's three people. It's a Super Sentai Atoko, a cosplay Atoko, and a closet anime Atoko. And they get brought into being the newest set of Rangers, the Akiba Rangers. However, they think that they're getting their own show. They're gonna, be the next Super Sentai. Come to find out, it's all a complete delusion and everything like this. So they're like, they think it's real, but it's all in their head.
Fuck.
Well, come to find out, they end up actually somehow believing it's real to the point where their imagined enemies show up in the real world, and they actually do become Rangers. And it's hilarious because classic Sentais show up in it, like, we know them as Mighty Morphin Red and Green show up, and some of the Go Rangers from Super Sentai 1 show up and all this, so it's hilariously funny because it's a total spoof, and it's made for more of a teenager adult audience, but I think you should check it out because I think you'd actually laugh your ass off at it because it's so over the top, stupidly funny. Like, if you're a fan of stuff like Monty Python, Three Stooges slapstick style humor with touches of British humor, you'll definitely love it.
Let's talk about nerd type of, well, not nerd stuff, but just binges. I've been on a South Park binge.
Dude, I lost so much interest in South Park over the last couple of years.
Well, I've been watching the first, 3 seasons.
Like, from season 1 to, 7 is pretty good, and then after that it's just like...
It's picked up a little bit steam lately.
I mean, there's some episodes, here and there that I checked out, obviously when Cartman started up his superhero group, the Coon and Friends, where he befriends Cthulhu. That was awesome.
Did you see the episode, because I know you're into the Human Centipede. Did you see the Sentai pad?
No, I did not.
That's actually not that bad.
The last one I watched was the one where the emo kids were taking over South Park.
Yes, I saw that one.
And the little goth kid turned out to be an emo because he thought that they were actually like plant people and they'd come to take over the world.
Yeah, with the janitor.
And it turned out to be a complete fucking joke.
Yeah, it was like some TV show.
Yeah,
or something.
it was almost like Punked.
Yeah,
and it was funny. That was a good episode. All
Wasn't
right,
bad.
but let's get into this. We've obviously got our reviews, which I am doing from 2001 Ginger Snaps, the Werewolf Flick. So we're finally talking about Werewolf Flicks.
Finally.
17 episodes in. What do you got going on?
I got from 2010 Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Nice. From 1986, so a movie older than me. Witchboard. I think it's from.
Isn't it from
2012?
Silent Hill Revelation?
I said 11, so I wasn't too far off. Obviously, we've got our comparison. This is going to be another big
we got
battle.
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
We do
for
on
this
one.
We're not going to get away.
Obviously, we've got our Artist of the Week, which is kind of another sad one. We've been doing a lot of sad ones lately.
Well, a lot of things sad has been happening.
Yeah, a lot of sad shit's been happening, which we'll talk about that later too.
Fuck this world.
But this is actually probably one of our bigger top lists because it's our second top 10.
Even though, it's our first top 10 in a regular episode.
Yeah, if you count episode 0, the Creepypasta episode, we did do a top.
That's more of a
10.
special than it is a.
Yeah, that's true. But I still love the Creepypasta episode so far. That's my favorite one that we've done. I had a blast doing that episode.
Episode 9.
Episode 9?
Yeah.
Which one was episode 9? I forget.
Oh, goodness. We'll talk about it later.
I was going to say, what did we do? Wait, my favorite is the infamous episode 6. Our lost episode.
The episode that would not
would not upload onto YouTube for whatever fucking reason.
It's funny. Actually, now I'm talking about this kind of stuff. Season 1 is like... Alright, you
testing the
got
waters.
6 is
our lost
episode, and 6 is that number, 666, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we got 13 episodes in the whole season.
That's true.
Which is also one of those numbers.
Yeah, an unlucky number. So that's...
We're based off of evil powers.
Maybe Satan will fly out of my asshole while we're doing an episode.
That's a cat looks at you.
Yeah, fuck you too, Morpheus. My idiot cat. Anyway, so like I said, this is one of our bigger lists, which I actually really dug doing this list because this was really cool to read the backstories.
Yeah, well, originally we're just going to do a top 5, and then we found this list,
so many,
and we're just like, we got to do a top 10 because there's so many we like.
Yeah, so this was actually a really, really cool one, and I had a blast doing this one. This is the top 10 creepiest abandoned places in the world, or abandoned places.
Yeah, that we've found. There might be
found.
Creepier ones, but we just didn't see them.
I'm sure that we probably got a few that coincide. I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to go first, or should I?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. At number 10, the abandoned church with chairs still standing. Unfortunately, this did not give a location as to where it was, but it did show pictures both of the outside and the inside. And the story behind it was creepy because the church was still there, and I don't know if it was the sunlight shining in, but it had that kind of glow from the stained glass.
Did it have a baby's casket in it?
Yeah, there's a fucking baby coffin, an infant coffin, sitting right there.
That's creepy.
Which was creepy.
Just straight up.
Number 9. This one is in Antarctica. It was by a Brazilian film crew, and it is the Sunken Yacht. And this was creepy because sunken ships or abandoned ships just creep the shit out of me. Because I love the water, I love being in the ocean or a lake or whatever. I love being around the water, and seeing a sunken ship or anything really sunken just kind of makes me think, okay, what happened, and it creeps me out because there could be all kinds of shit. This ship was actually recently found, and it's been pulled out since it's been found, but it is scary as fuck.
So the Bermuda Triangle would not be somewhere you'd want to visit underwater?
Probably not. Probably not. Number 8. This one, it didn't have a legitimate name, but it's the uninhabited island in southwest Florida. The picture showed these 4 or 5 hut-like house structures right on the beach, but there's nothing. There's no stores, there's no roads, no nothing. I mean, this is literally abandoned. You don't even see birds in any of the pictures.
Huh.
I mean, this is literally like an island. Somebody showed up, built some houses, and then nothing ever happened. And it's so creepy just looking at it because of just the sheer stillness of wildlife. There, you would think there'd be birds or something. It's fucking Florida. I didn't think there was a part of Florida outside of like the Everglades that hadn't been populated. Thank you. So it was weird. Number 7. This is over in Italy, and it's the Christ of the Abyss.
Yes, I've read about that.
It's a statue of Jesus.
The 55-foot statue?
It was put in the ocean at 55 feet.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But the statue is huge.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long. It's been there since the 50s, since 1950 something.
Yeah, it was.
But the sculptor literally just put it in the ocean. He didn't even do anything else with it. He just went, bloop. And I'm like,
I think it was all part of his art to make a statement.
It probably was. But it was, I mean, again, with the whole sunken city or sunken statues or anything water-related creeps me out when it comes to something being sunk. So that one, it was more the fact that, you know, it's a religious iconograph that's what bothers me. I don't like seeing religious anything, whether it's my own religion or somebody else's. It just, I don't want to see it. And actually, here we are with another boat one at number 6, the wreck of the SS America.
I think that's cool.
It's cool to look at because it's not sunk,
right?
But it's off of an island, and it's just this shattered, rotted out shell of this World War II battleship.
Which I think is fucking cool.
It's cool, but I would personally never want to go into it again.
I would.
mean, like, it's like it screams haunted, and that's my I don't know. I don't like shit like that.
Actually, did you check out the one over in Japan?
Yes.
I think, or Australia, or around in that.
Yes, I did.
Coastal area.
That's
kind of cool.
That's that one. It's in Australia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on an island bed in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Number 5. Again, for whatever reason, no location. The empty organ room. And it's just a room.
It's just a random out.
It's a room. It looks like an attic, just filled with like church organs, and there's nothing there.
You think it's part of the church that you talked about earlier?
It could be, but it's creepy as shit because why the fuck are there like 80 pianos in this? And that's what weirds me out. Number 4, the Eastern State Penitentiary, which is
in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I have family in Pennsylvania, and I have driven past this penitentiary on numerous occasions, and I've seen it on shit like Ghost Hunters and Ghost
the usual stuff.
Blah 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 blah. The fucking thing, it's creepy to begin with because it's an abandoned prison. What doesn't make it creepy right there? You have rapists and murderers and child molesters that were in there from however long to however long.
Right.
People died, whether it was killing themselves or
killed someone else.
Yeah, exactly. So it's creepy as shit. And, you know, again, it's a fucking abandoned jail. Of course it's creepy. Number 3, again with the religious thing, is Holy Land, USA.
That's over in, that's down in Connecticut.
In Connecticut, yeah, so it's not too far from us. And that's just fucking freaks me out because, again, it's the whole religious shit. Like, there are statues of angels that are decaying, and you've got big crosses that have been tipped over, and then you find out in 2010 that a teenager was murdered on the property. So there's a lot.
It's pretty big too, right?
Yeah.
It's like what, 6 acres?
6 or 7 acres. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Which is pretty big. So.
I mean, it's not as big as obviously like Disneyland.
No, but it didn't have that much like visitors either to be as big as Disneyland.
Well, it used to. In its heyday, it was 40,000 visitors a year, which is pretty good if you think about it.
That's pretty good for a small park.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, fucking Storyland here in New Hampshire don't even get that many, I don't think. Which I haven't been to Storyland in years.
I've never been to Storyland.
What?
I don't have much interest to go.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It's just like Santa's Village. I don't have interest to go there
Santa's
either.
Village, I didn't.
It just
have
seems
much.
cheesy.
Santa's Village, I didn't have a lot of fun as a kid, but I loved fucking Storyland. Like, if you were a fan of like any kind of fairy tale, like Alice in Wonderland or even the Grimm fairy tales, they had talks of them, and there was like I remember as a kid, you would walk in and there'd be this big stone wall, and there was a statue of Humpty Dumpty, and you could climb up there and have your picture taken, which was cool. There was the old woman who lived in a shoe. Her shoe you could climb in, and you could actually go through the house and everything, so that was really cool. I mean, there was just a lot of really neat shit. If you were into fairy tales at all, it was really cool.
Huh.
I had a blast doing it as a kid. Anyway, number 2, I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong. The Anderlecht, thank you, Veterinary School. The building outside isn't what's so creepy about it. It's when you get inside that you see shit that makes it creepy because there's just different animal organs and
heads,
specimens
bodies,
and such. Yeah, just stuffed into jars and shit. Now, I personally am okay with that. That's not really what makes it creepy. It's just the fact that each room gets like more and more and more of it, which makes it kind of
unsettling.
strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a fucking shark in a jar for Christ's sake, which doesn't bother me any, and I've got bugs and God only knows what else. But that, I don't know. It's that factor of like the more you go, the more you see. And a lot of the stuff is unanswered as to like why certain parts are stitched together.
Yeah,
That's what kind of.
I think that's what makes it creepiest. Is that
and the number one, even though there was no inside pictures, and I kind of wish that there was because I would have loved to have seen what it looked like inside. And I think that this one was in Berlin, right? It was in Germany.
Belgium.
Yep. Was the Chateau Miranda. Which was a castle built by French aristocrats trying to escape during World War I and II, and the French Revolution, of course. I love old creepy castles, but this thing just, I don't know, just looking at the picture alone, it was like, this is a place I probably want to stay away from, but the morbidity of myself told me, hey, I would live here. So I'm torn on it, but that's my number one because I don't know. It just really was an unsettling picture more than anything else. Like it kind of gave me the willies looking at it, but not horribly.
I saw the picture of it. I thought it was kind of cool looking.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly live there. Like I said, I think that would.
But
be
just
my thing.
like
All right, you're a loose bitch.
Number 10, El Hotel del Salto in Colombia, South America.
Woo.
And
You're gonna hang out with some drug cartels.
totally.
You're gonna be there. You want to party?
It was built to
As a sex dungeon?
Yeah, totally. No, it was built for the people who like to visit the local falls. I guess
okay.
it was
Cool.
like really pretty and whatever.
Yep.
Well, come to find out that the falls, the water was tainted. I guess like something was wrong with the water, so it definitely lost visitors. And due to the loss of visitors, the hotel shut down and is now abandoned. And the picture of it was kind of creepy for the fact that it sat on a cliffside and it was built of stone.
Yeah, that's not good.
So I was like, all right, either this thing's gonna fall off when somebody's in it,
That is
just
pretty spooky.
The setting alone was
That is
was
pretty
freaky.
spooky.
Number 9, the Domino Sugar Factory in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
That one's creepy for the fact that it's in such a heavily populated area, and nobody thought, hey, we could use this factory for something else.
And even with that, Domino is still around.
Yeah,
So the fact that they just left it there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what said reason is.
Someone got drowned in sugar.
That's kind of strange. Why didn't he just eat his way out? Sure, he would have been diabetic, but Christ. All right, number 8.
Number 8. Fuck, it's here somewhere.
Man, you
Oh,
suck.
there it is.
I was gonna say you suck at this.
The Can Frank Rail Station in Spain.
I don't think I looked at this one too
No?
much. I think I kind of skimmed past it because I was like, it's not really that
It's a
interesting to
freaking
me.
huge 3-4 story building
Yeah, I remember.
just sitting
I remember
next to a rail yard, and
Yeah, I remember looking at it, but it didn't really bother me that much. I don't know. For me, I think of trains. People have planes now.
well, I think of it kind of like you think of it with sunken ships. That's my thing. I love abandoned rail yards, and I think they're creepy.
They definitely are creepy, but like for me, you're in the water, the ocean, the lake, whatever, and you already have hundreds of, if not thousands of different living species, and then you have these sunken ships, whether they're ranging back to, and I love pirates, so the sunken pirate ship stories always fascinated me and everything, but don't mean I want to go and explore it. That's just me, of course.
Yeah,
but
it was just intimidating, and the fact that it must have been used a lot to get this big.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
And the architecture was so nice.
Yeah.
And then just abandoned.
Huh.
So.
All right. Number 7.
Number 7, this is the weird sounding one that I. Częstochowa. I'm sure I hacked the name, but Częstochowa train depot in Poland. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it.
I think that's actually Yeah, I think it's Shez, but it could be. I don't know. I don't speak Polish.
Well, I think of it like Czechoslovakia, how it's got the CZ.
Yeah, maybe.
So Czech.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Either way.
I don't speak Polish, so.
Neither do I.
If anyone speaks Polish, you can tell us how to actually pronunciate it.
Because we're American, we're retarded.
Yeah.
Anyway, another train station.
Yep.
But this one's filled with trains.
Oh, this one's
and
actually
trams.
Oh wow! So this has actually got.
It's got the
engines
equipment
and everything.
right.
Oh wow, that's.
And so I saw that and I was like, it's all overgrown, and the fact that it's all there.
Now,
Kinda creepy.
if I go touch this thing with like a light up box, will it transform?
Maybe that's what it is.
They're old crusty transformers.
They're hiding.
Yeah, they're hiding in plain sight. Just like what was that line from Transformers 2, where Jetfire was going on about his grandfather? Oh, that all he transformed into was a wheel, and he did it with pride. I'm like, great. I'm like, so we've had Transformers since the Stone Age.
Yay!
All right, next.
Six Flags New Orleans.
The Jazz Land or whatever it was. Yeah, really creepy. I mean, they had it open till what, like 2005?
Something like that.
When Katrina hit.
Right,
and then they just did nothing.
And you think Six Flags, another big
name
company that goes across America.
It's in Europe, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and it's starting to branch out into other countries. I mean, now and then they just got this defunct.
Yeah, this one's just like.
Right, and they got all these freaking crap in it.
Yeah, and now the city owns it.
Yep. And you think at least Six Flags would try to
do something,
or before
but
the city bought it, that
maybe they're smart enough to realize that people probably shouldn't live in New Orleans because like every other year a fucking hurricane hits and they have to rebuild their city all over again.
Well, it's like in Oklahoma or stuff like that, Tornado Alley.
Yeah, but I mean, how often do we honestly hear about like super tornadoes, and then how often do we hear about New Orleans being flooded by a fucking hurricane?
True.
I mean, honestly, even this past year, New Orleans has been hit by hurricane whatever. It's like, great, again.
It's like, what is new?
Dude, it's like a reoccurring like TV schedule at that point. It's like rerun, click. You don't even have to watch the news anymore.
Like,
as soon as you hear New Orleans, click. Alright, anyway, next.
The Eastern State Penitentiary that
same
you
one
had.
that I had. Which, your reasoning is probably the same as mine.
It's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and it's a fucking prison.
It's a prison.
Number
4, the Michigan Central Station.
Another
Detroit,
train one.
Another train.
That one was probably one of the creepier train ones.
Yeah, windows broken.
Well, the thing is, Detroit.
5 stories tall.
Detroit station shouldn't even be put into it. It should just be Detroit. Because anyone who's seen a picture recently of Detroit, it's worse than Syria.
Besides the inner city.
No, even inner city looks like shit.
Like where GM and all that.
It looks like it's been bombed. It's so horrible.
It's better than the outskirts.
I don't know about that. I don't even want to go to Michigan ever again. Like I drove through.
I'm good with going there.
I drove through it once. That's bad enough. Never want to do it again.
No,
I will gladly drive through New York again. Like I will drive through fucking Harlem. And I will probably get shot at, but you know what? At least in fucking Harlem, I feel safer than I do in Detroit because I know, like, if I stop at a stop sign, there's gonna be like 60 people who come out and rip my fucking car apart, and I'm just gonna have a steering wheel and a seat. That's exactly what it's gonna be.
And maybe a body.
Which I'm not even gonna have that because they're gonna fucking sell it off. All right, next.
All right.
Seriously, we're already into this 24 minutes.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, it is a top 10 list.
It is a top 10.
Usually the stuff lasts 10 minutes.
Anyway, go.
The Chateau Miranda.
The one that I had.
The one that's your number 1.
Yes.
So, and I find it the same amusing, like, oh, I should stay away from it, but I would really
You're
like
really curious about it at the same time.
So, that'd be a cool story to actually try to look up later.
I think I'm going to look into that a little bit more.
Number 2, the Willard Asylum in Willard, New York.
Yes.
Which I thought was kind of cool.
Mental institutions are always fucking creepy, and there were a lot of them that I was like, oh, I should put this on my list, but I stayed away from mental asylums because they're all, no matter if they're abandoned or not, they're fucking creepy. Mental institutions are just plain scary to begin with. Why do you think there's so many horror movies based in fucking mental institutions?
I have a couple of stories based in a mental institution.
Oh, I do too, but I'm
They're
serious.
just great settings.
Those are probably the scariest, or some of the modern scariest.
I've seen a funny insane asylum. You want to hear about it?
Oh God!
It's in Concord. It's across the street from the high school.
Yes, yeah, I know exactly the one you're talking about.
So if that test is too hard, you can always go to the insane asylum across the street.
Actually, I've got an application in there, which is kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Ha!
To work with the mentally handicapped patients. But anyway,
Number 1, the Pripyat Ukraine.
in the Ukraine,
Thank you.
you couldn't fucking say Ukraine. Dumbass.
Anyway, Russia, right next to the Chernobyl.
Yeah, but it's not the whole
meltdown.
city. I looked into the
It's
story.
most of the city.
It's a good portion of it, yeah. But
Including
an amusement park. Yeah, because as soon as you see the picture, there's this big fucking Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And I read the story, and I thought it was the whole city too. And it's the majority of it.
It's,
there's
like you can go into a part of it that's not as radioactive.
Yeah, but the thing is, like the city itself, like didn't get too radioactive to begin with.
No.
Like
But
obviously Chernobyl, like which I'm actually surprised Chernobyl wasn't on either one of our lists because Chernobyl's fucking creepy as shit.
Chernobyl has a very damn good reason to be abandoned. So.
Well, yeah. So does fucking parts of Arizona because they were doing nuclear testing out there.
Sure, but we don't have Arizona on our list.
No, we don't.
Picked the places that, for the most part, don't have a reason to be abandoned.
Drew, we're definitely gonna have to do like a places that probably should be abandoned list. All right, so that's our list. Now we get into the reviews. Yay! Should I start or you want to start?
I will start this one.
Okay, go for it.
And I'm going to start right off with Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
From
2010.
2010.
And
really, it's that old?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2012.
No, 2010.
Wow.
And it was from the same guys, in part by the same guys, Magnet, that what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Or past couple times.
Bubble Hotep.
Bubble Hotep.
John dies at the end.
Wreck, the second one that they distributed.
Wreck. We didn't do Wreck.
No, we haven't done Wreck, but that's one of their other known titles.
Dude, I want to do Wreck, but I don't have them.
I know where to find it.
It's the Spanish version.
It's on Netflix.
Fuck Netflix. Netflix sucks balls.
Fuck you. It has.
Netflix sucks balls. I'll buy the fucking DVD.
I can't find the DVD. I never go to Walmart.
I hardly go to Walmart unless I absolutely have to.
But
I hate going to Walmart.
Two hillbillies out on vacation.
Two straight out fucking.
They're the nicest guys.
Stereotypical rednecks.
But they're like nice guys. They're just trying to do their own thing. You know, just have a nice time.
And then like what is it, 5 or 6? Six teenagers.
College teenagers
show up to have a vacation too. They go to their little cabin. They've watched one too many horror films.
And they see these two rednecks and think automatically that they're dangerous.
Dude, the only time you think a redneck is dangerous is one of two reasons.
He's got a beer in his hand.
No. If you've been sleeping with his daughter and you show up late to pick her up for a date and she goes, "Hey, Junior, guess who else is late?" That's number one.
Ooh.
And number two is if you see him sitting out there with a banjo and you hear ding, ding, a ding, 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 ding. That's when you know that they're dangerous. Rednecks, honest to God, rednecks really aren't that bad. And this is coming from a dude from the South. But you know what? There's rednecks in every culture. I don't care if you're fucking Asian, if you're Hispanic, if you're Caucasian, if you're black. There are rednecks in every fucking place.
They're just not called rednecks.
No.
Not necessarily.
Dude,
I'm sure there's another word for it.
Check out, what the fuck's that comedian's name? Gabriel Iglesias.
I love him.
He talks about fucking
Mexican rednecks.
Yep.
I remember that.
And you know, he's talking about, you know, country music, and then he's talking about the fucking Mexicans playing their mariachi. He's like, it's the same thing.
It's the same.
And it's hilarious because I never really put two and two together, and
now you think about it.
It was funny as hell. But going back to Tucker and Dale, so the kids see them, they freak out because they're thinking, oh my god, these guys are mass murderers, serial killers, blah blah blah.
Right, just
blah.
because they stared at them through a window.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is stupid.
And then all kinds of shit ensues where, what was it, Tucker that goes running with the chainsaw?
Yeah, he's getting chased by bees because he hit a beehive in a tree or something.
Yeah.
And so he's running out because the bees are chasing him, and he's whipping his chainsaw around to try to hit the bees.
It looks like something out of Texas Chainsaw.
And then one of the kids thinks he's chasing him, so he starts bolting it.
Yeah, it's fucking It's fucking hilarious.
That's not
it's so
as,
funny.
I think. What's your favorite kill on that? Because I know you've seen it. What's your favorite kill?
I have a lot. The chainsaw one is good because I love the kid just running into that branch. This is so hard, but I gotta go with the wood chipper.
Thank you.
The wood chipper is fucking hilarious. It's definitely a horror comedy, so it's not gonna be for everyone's taste. And the thing is, I typically don't like horror comedies. Like, I really, really have to get into the movie to like it. And Tucker and Dale, I think it hit home from me being from the South and knowing rednecks, and of course, seeing too many horror films. I'd probably be the same way living up here in New Hampshire for so long. So for me, I think that movie is fucking hilarious, more so than it is scary. I mean, there was definitely some good gore. Too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was definitely gory. What do you give Tucker and Dale?
Well, it is a horror comedy.
Yes.
So on the horror side, I give it like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not horrific. It doesn't scare you,
yeah.
but it's not.
Okay, on the comedy factor.
9.
All right,
9 out of 10.
So we meld the two to like a 6.
6.
A 6.
Ish.
All right, so you're right about where I was. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So not too far off. I found the movie more funny than scary.
Well, that was the point of it.
Yeah, and I mean the reason it got a higher rating because originally I was going to give it a 6, but I did love the gore factor in it, and even though it wasn't over the top like something like Human Centipede or when we did like Megan is Missing, the shit wasn't so over the top. Where obviously with Megan is Missing it was just so unnerving because of how real it was.
I also got to give props to the fact that it's a pretty original idea. I have never seen the hillbillies be the good guys in a horror movie.
Yeah, that was different. All right, so cool. All right, mine from 2001, a Canadian film actually.
Oh wow!
Is Ginger Snaps.
Nice.
And I know it took us this long to fucking do a werewolf movie, which is surprising. You've got 15-year-old and near 16-year-old sisters, Bridget and Ginger Fitzgerald. They are your town goths. They're obsessed with death, and they're literally each other's best friends. They don't want to hang out with the popular kids. Well, they're walking home one night from doing something, I forget what it is exactly, and they are attacked by what they think is a large dog. Ginger gets bit while Bridget literally beats the dog off of Ginger, and it eventually dies. Ginger then ends up having that womanly experience that comes with puberty, and soon thereafter she starts having sex with pretty much anybody and everybody. Well, it's because of the werewolf thing. It puts her into heat, I guess.
Oh, I guess. Okay.
And she ends up having sex with like the most popular guy in school. Well, he ends up going to take a leak, and he sees a blood spot on his pants, so he thinks that she was on the rag while they had sex. Come to find out, they had unprotected sex, and the werewolf virus can be transferred through sex in this movie, which is really weird. It's a new take on it, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm gonna say it right out. I fucking love this movie. I love the whole Ginger Snaps series. Like, there was not a bad one in it for me. This is, I think, my favorite out of them. I liked Ginger Snaps 2, Ginger Snaps Back, which was an awesome film too. But I absolutely fell in love with both characters, Bridget and Ginger. More so Bridget because, she was, even though she was the goth, she was caring, she wanted to help her sister.
Right.
And she falls in love with the local pothead, which I thought was hilarious. And she actually infects herself in order to be with her sister.
That's unique.
It was unique, and I really dug the film. Unfortunately, it's a hard to find movie. I was surprised with how new it is because it came out in 2001, so it's not.
I saw a copy in For Your Entertainment.
Well, I got mine.
I almost picked it up.
I got mine actually at our wonderful pawn shop we go to.
Wonderful pawn shop.
Fast Cash.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Mansfield.
No.
Oh.
I meant a legitimate pawn shop. I would have said used bookstore if I was talking about Mansfield.
Well, then it could pass as pawn shop.
Yeah, kind of. It's got more than books.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen the movie since I was pretty young. I was in like 8th grade at the time when I saw the movie the first time, which was, I think, the year it came out. And I was like, oh, I really want to get this movie. And it was on my list forever. and I finally happened to find a copy, and I'm like, fuck yes, I have to buy this. And Jimmy kept sending us email after email. When are you doing werewolf movies? When are you doing werewolf movies? So finally, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do a werewolf flick, which I don't have a lot of, surprisingly.
There's not a lot of them.
There's a ton of them. I just don't have
Really?
a lot of them. Yeah.
Huh.
You got, the American Werewolf series. You got Howling, Ginger Snaps, The Wolfman,
I like
the
the
Underworld,
original better, I think.
the Underworld series, of course. I mean, there's tons of them.
Hmm.
Dog Soldiers.
Never heard of it.
That was a good one.
Huh.
Although one that I probably will never pick it, you very well may someday, is War Dogs, or Werewolves is what it's called.
I've never heard of it.
It's another werewolf. Like,
Is it
it's like,
horrible?
It's pretty bad.
Then I probably won't watch it.
You'll probably pick it just out of sheer shits and giggles. And you're gonna be like, I'm gonna pick this, click, and I'm gonna be like, I fucking hate you.
Just like a few movies I've done. Just to
Oh,
piss
you're
you
a
off.
fucking prick. You're a fucking prick.
See, I get you back with horrible movie reviews.
You do. But at least
You
I
insult
pick,
me.
dude. At least I pick fucking awesome movies.
But see, you can't always pick awesome movies. You gotta pick some terrible ones too.
Dude, I've picked some bad ones like fucking Jacqueline Hyde. That was horrible. God, that movie sucked. I was so looking forward to that too, and I was bummed. Anyway, back to Ginger Snaps. Have you ever seen this?
A while ago. Probably back when it first came out in like 2002, 2003.
Okay, so
my mom had it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have sat down and watched it. And
Yeah.
I do remember
Quite
certain scenes from it.
Okay.
Like I remember, I definitely remember him finding the blood spot.
Yeah, and
I
him
remember
pissing
that.
the blood and freaking out.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I do remember
Okay, cool.
a lot of what you're saying.
All right, so what do you give Ginger Snaps for a rating?
From memory alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. All right, so you're right on the dot with me. I'm giving it also an 8 out of 10. Like I said, I fucking love this movie. It's probably my second favorite werewolf series, with my first being The Howling. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, how can you pick The Howling over the American Werewolf series? Which I love the American Werewolf, but Howling to me was a better movie.
Wolfman.
I love the Wolfman, but the thing is, it wasn't a series.
No, but
you
it doesn't have to
had
be.
what, like two?
Eh.
I think it was you had Wolfman, and then you had Wolfman meets Frankenstein, and that was.
I've seen just Wolfman, and that was pretty cool.
I've seen both, which I loved both films. Don't get me wrong. I love Lon Chaney Jr., great actor, but The Howling is just such an original.
Let's just pause.
No, see, we're still timing. Up there in the corner.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I'm glad.
Fourth wall break.
I'm glad I don't edit this shit, because it just shows how much of idiots we are. All right, so
Okay.
anyway, you're up.
All right, 2012 Silent Hill
Silent Hill
Revelation.
Revelation. The fucking 10-year wait sequel.
It took so long.
It did take so long.
Why did you take so long?
Yeah, and it wasn't even done by the same company that did the
No,
first
it
one.
wasn't.
Revelation, it picks up literally like, oh dear God, excuse me, 10 years after the first.
No,
Silent Hill.
I wonder if that's why they waited 10 years. Just to make it more realistic, like Toy Story.
Dude, if that's the case, I want to fucking find out who the hell decided that. Fucking bend them over their desk and fist fuck them with a goddamn razor blade glove.
That is so gory, I love it.
Dude, I'm so fucking pissed about it because I loved the first Silent Hill.
First Silent Hill was a masterpiece of a movie.
And for me to have to wait 10 years for a film, it better be just as good, if not better, than the first film. And unfortunately, I've done that with numerous films where I'm like, all right, I'm waiting, and then it finally comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
I'm actually doing that with a couple of video games I'm waiting on, and they haven't
I don't
even
do
announced
that.
them yet.
I don't even do that so much with video games anymore because I know it's just not going to happen. Sequels never are as good as usually. Far and few between. Truly.
I will say, Grand Theft Auto's as a series. I mean, I know you don't count it as much of a game.
No, because the story's the
Perhaps.
same pretty much all the time. You
But-
go around, you blow up people, and
I like doing that though.
and you steal cars.
It relaxes me.
Okay, well, I can play Mortal Kombat, which has no storyline,
And now
beat the hell out of people, and I'm happier than
And now
shit.
I can go online. I can freaking troll people because it's
Yeah,
funny as
that's
shit.
the one plus. But I do have to say that I did love Grand Theft Auto Ballad of Gay Tony. I thought that was hilarious.
That was
I
awesome.
thought that was a hilarious game.
So, but now
Walking
I can
into a
see
gay
it start
strip
to
joint
fall
was
now.
fucking hilarious.
I can see it start to fall now because GTA 5 is not that great when it comes to storyline. It's
Well,
mostly just about online.
Well, they pulled the same stupid that they did before. where you have to buy all the shit separately now.
You don't have to buy everything.
I thought you had to buy all the shit separately. Somebody
DLC?
somebody was going on about that, like that they fucked that all up.
GTA 5 is all updates and crap, and you get the DLCs
really?
for free.
Oh, nice. All right, so don't listen to me on that one because I heard something completely different. All right, anyway, back to Silent Hill.
Yeah, back to Silent Hill.
Takes place, like I said, 10 years after, which was a fucking retarded wait. It's the same girl, which is awesome.
Yep.
She has been literally moving from town to town, state to state.
Changing her name with her dad.
Yeah, with her dad.
Yeah. Heather. Yeah,
Yes,
that's her name.
That's what they call her in this one.
Yeah, because, well, it was Heather, and then, later...
You found out the legitimate name, which was, like, Claire or something.
Yeah, Claire. Some reason I thought it was Elsa, and I was like, no, that's the bad one's name.
Yeah, that's the bad one. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I loved Revelation, but to me, it wasn't as scary. It wasn't as scary as the original. Like, it definitely was more of an action movie. The few scenes that were scary was mostly the introduction of new monsters. Like, we didn't see the nurse in the first film, which we see in this one, which was awesome. No, we never see the nurse in the first film.
Where? Back when she's freaking going downstairs into the
basement?
Or something like that, and there's a freaking, she shines her flashlight and there's like a fucking army of them.
No, that's the torsos. You're talking in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the torsos. Those are the guys that have no arms and they just wobble back and forth.
It was the nurses, because she had to sneak through them and freaking creep her way around them, because otherwise they would stab her.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think you're wrong, but...
Well... Anyway.
Regardless, this one, at least with the nurses, like, they're more prominent because you see the nurse actually, like, shift into the monster, which was awesome. I loved, however, the
spider.
The doll maker. The puppet maker.
That what? Oh.
The thing, it was just a bunch of doll heads.
Yeah,
and they
the spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's actually called because it doesn't show up until... which fucking game? Is it 3 or 4? I don't think it's 4.
3, because 4 was in a different... No, wait, I'm thinking of
4 was the room.
Yeah.
So, and I think it was 3, because it's the one where you play actually as Claire looking for your dad.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's 3, but I haven't played all the way through 3. I do have it downstairs.
Either way. But the mannequin,
it's
like the mannequin spider or something.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
I don't know what it's called. Like I said, I just love the idea of calling it like the puppet maker or the doll maker. I just think that's a cooler name, and I love the fact when it like rips the fucking head off and it screams. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, that part fucking. I watched that. And that made me jump a little bit.
Actually, one of the scariest scenes was actually when you see Pyramid Head protect her, and he rips his own chains out. Like that was
weird.
Like, well, the thing is, you find out that he's the guardian.
Yeah, which makes sense.
I still want to see an origin story of Pyramid Head. Like, there isn't one, and I have my own theory, I think we got time. Yeah, we got time. I'll fucking talk about it. My theory is that Pyramid Head was actually an ancient Egyptian pharaoh.
Which would make sense.
Who was just a complete bastard to everybody, and his own servants, like, turned on him, and they actually encased his head in the pyramid, and they literally made him walk the desert until he said, you know, I'll do anything to stay alive. And I think that he eventually became, you know, kind of one of these Hellion-esque characters. And eventually, when Elsa came around after the burns and everything, and
she brought him.
She said, you know, I need someone to protect me, and she pulled Pyramid Head. Yeah, I can't fucking talk today.
You were thinking of Pinhead.
Yeah, I was. Brings Pyramid Head out of hell and uses him as a bodyguard. That's my theory.
That'd be a cool theory.
And I haven't read any like fanfics or anything about his origin, which I'm kind of surprised, considering how huge Silent Hill still is. But whatever.
Silent Hill has been a freaking phenomenon since '97.
Yeah, fuck Resident Evil. I know a lot of people like Resident Evil.
The first Resident Evil wasn't that bad.
The first 2.
The first one, I've played the first one, the original one.
Yeah, the original.
That was cool. That was hard, but it was cool.
Number 2 was definitely harder, where you're actually in Raccoon City.
I haven't played number 2.
Number 2 was really cool. I played 1 through 4. And then I played 0 when it came out on the GameCube, which I have my wonderful GameCube. But I haven't played that game in so long. But anyway, what do you give Silent Hill?
What do we give? we gave regular Silent Hill like a 10, didn't we?
I give it a 9.
You gave it a 9?
Yeah, it was almost perfect because there were some things that were left out.
And which I think this movie kind of filled in a little bit.
Well, I'm horrible because I tried to compare it too much to the video game, which I do. Well, I did the same thing with the fucking Resident Evil movies. Whenever we review those stupid things, which will probably be the day when my fucking idiot brother decides, hey, I want to be a special guest on the show.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, fucking dildo.
Oh, by the way, we are planning more special guests.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some. I'm trying to get some of my friends to come on.
Some of mine too.
I think we should invite Amber on. I really do. I think
Amber would be awesome.
I think she'd be fun for the show.
If we did a lot of maybe some comic book stuff, maybe a Doctor Who's.
Well, I actually want to talk to her about doing
because she's
a nerd show.
A nerd show.
Yeah, because I've been on such a fucking comic binge lately, and I just want to start talking about comic books and manga and anime and just any fucking nerd shit.
Right up your guys'
So and you're starting to get into it.
I'm joining the on that one.
I was about to say you're starting to get into it. You're reading more comic books and shit.
Which I'm not. Which is unusual.
You're like a video game nerd, and of course there's going to be video game nerds watching, so they're going to want info on that shit. So I think that would be kind of cool. Look for a potential new podcast.
We said this before.
Yeah, with
twice.
Fucking Movie Men, which we kind of started.
We started, but then we couldn't download the video.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with my computer.
So, might have to pick up on that maybe.
Yeah, Movie Men might happen again. We'll see.
We're not really. Well, we were excited for it, and then it kind of just died.
It kind of died because it's just come to the point where it's like, oh my god, we watched so many movies to begin with, and they were starting to like intermingle with each other.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Like, oh, we can't do that.
I think what was it? The first episode I did Django Unchained, Sin City, and Man with the Iron Fist because I did a whole Tarantino.
Yeah.
And like I was already melding movies, and I'm like, wait, that was in another movie, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of difficult. So I think if we do like the comic book one, it might be
books and.
Yeah, I mean, if we do the nerd one, I think it might be a little bit easier. Like, I think if we did, we each do like a different issue.
Nah, we can just totally freaking nerdgasm over it.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, I think with episode 1, you would obviously pick something with the Joker because that's like your favorite comic book character. I'd probably pick something Neil Gaiman related, whether it was Sandman or Death or even when he took over doing Miracle Man. I would probably pick something like that.
I think everyone would pick something manga.
Probably. I mean, I'm a huge manga fan too, because obviously we've talked about that on here. So what do you give Silent Hill? Let's get off our fucking
sorry. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
I'd say. It's not great. It's not better than Silent Hill, but it's almost there.
Yeah,
it filled in a little bit of spots.
It's definitely a good movie, but would I put it up there with, the 9 out of 10 almost perfect Silent Hill? Not by any means. And the thing is, there's still so many loopholes in this one.
I see a sequel.
There will definitely be
just because of how it ends.
There will definitely be another one, but it's like.
But I don't think it'll be based off of Claire.
I would rather it be based off Claire.
I think the second one's gonna have to do something with that prison bus.
The trucker.
Was it a truck? I thought it was a prison bus.
Yeah, it was a semi-trucker. And the thing is, he's the main character in the Silent Hill Homecoming video game. Do you think they're gonna freaking start doing the video games as movies? I would like to see them a little bit closer. Like, my big issue with number 1 was the fact that it was the mother and not the father, because in the game you're the father who's looking for Claire in Silent Hill. I would actually prefer to expand more on Silent Hill's history and the lore of it. If that's the case, then definitely Silent Hill 3 should be based off of Homecoming. Because Homecoming really goes into like the whole origin of Silent Hill. So I would say go with that. I don't want to see The Room ever made into a Silent Hill movie. No, because that, in my opinion, is the worst one. It's a fun game, but it's not as good as other Silent Hill games. So that's our rating on that. And now I'm up with the film that's older than me, Witchboard. Which I've never heard of. Starring Tawny Kitaen, which most people know her from being the chick that danced on David Coverdale's Jaguar during the song Here I Come Again, or Here I Go Again, I mean. Okay. And Todd Allen, who's been in a bunch of shit. That's her claim to fame. Well, she was a model. She was like a Playboy model or something, I think. interesting movie. Really in the vein of stuff like Poltergeist and The Exorcist. It's kind of one of those paranormal possession films. It's having one of my favorite things in the world, a Ouija board. I love Ouija boards. And this is cool. The DVD actually comes with a Ouija board, which is so cool in my opinion. You get a little witch board and a little punch-out planchette, which is awesome. And the disc actually has the planchette, which is really cool. Not an overly great film.
No?
Not super great. I did have a blast watching it.
I can see like some cheese factor going on with it.
Very cheesy. It's definite 80s cheese.
It's easy. It's in the 80s. It's cheesy.
And Tawny Kitaen, not a very good actress.
I could imagine so.
She kind of comes across as being very forced in her acting.
Oh, okay. That's never.
No,
No.
she.
It's forced. It's already asking for a bad movie.
I mean, she's not a bad-looking woman, but I mean, it was just.
Looks aren't everything.
Oh, her acting was just so bad, so bad.
Now, how bad are we talking? Like,
Well, for going back to nerd talk, any of the fans out there who are also Power Ranger Super Sentai fans, anyone who's seen Power Ranger Samurai and seen the acting in that, it's as bad as that. It's really fucking bad. Which I know is horrible of me to say because I know a lot of people loved Samurai. I couldn't stand it. I loved the Japanese version though. Because it was the only time that there was a female Red Ranger, which was pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, usually they're pink.
Well, yeah, the Pink Ranger was female too, but I loved the fact that there was actually a female leading the team this time. I thought that was pretty cool. Which I'm sure if we do the nerd show, we will definitely have a discussion about Sentai and
all that stuff
at some point. Which at that point I'll force you guys into watching at least on episode so we can actually have a legitimate discussion. But anyway, regardless, like I said, it's not that great of a movie. It was fun to watch. Like, if you really want to, just have a popcorn horror film, just sit there and be kind of entertained, and you love the 80s cheese, which I do love the 80s cheese, but it's got to be entertaining 80s cheese, and this was kind of mediocre. Well, that it's going to be bad.
Yeah, but
it's so
it's
bad.
funny.
It's good.
It's bad.
It does have some redeeming qualities. So for me, I'm probably going to kick myself in the ass for this because I'm thinking that the rating's going to be a lot higher than it should be. But I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Because it's a good popcorn horror film. I'm sure I'll watch it again. It's not one of these movies where I'm like, I will never touch this again. Not like Jacqueline Hyde.
Yeah, I'll never touch. No.
Yeah, I don't think either of us will touch that movie again.
Just some movies. It's so bad we won't touch.
All right, so
okay.
Do we want to get into the comparison, or should we talk about our artist of the week?
Let's talk about the comparison first.
Okay, this is a bird one, like Dracula from the last episode. We are talking about probably the second biggest gothic monster, Frankenstein.
My favorite.
Or the Frankenstein monster, not so much Frankenstein.
No, well, Frankenstein and the fact that he's...
Frankenstein is the mad scientist.
Right.
Now, I don't want to touch too much on books that have to deal with Frankenstein.
Oh, let's not even go there.
Because there's just too much shit.
But if we are going to talk about those, we got to talk about the original Mary Shelley.
Well, obviously we're going to talk about...
I have a copy of that one.
I do too, and it's one of my favorite...
It's not a bad book.
No, it's one of my favorite...
It's aged well.
I know a lot of people consider it, a horror or supernatural. To me, it's really science fiction.
I'd say so.
Because it doesn't work without the science.
No.
So, to me, Mary Shelley was like the mother of science fiction. Anyway, we're talking obviously about the classic Universal Boris Karloff film.
Yeah.
The Robert De Niro, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which came out, I think, in '92, right around the same time as Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
It might have been like a year.
There was like a little stint of Universal horror monsters.
Yeah, being brought back. Unfortunately, my favorite has still not had a resurgence, which pisses me off. Which is the Gill Man from Creature from the Black Lagoon. There's been no resurgence, which I think is bullshit.
Give it a couple of years.
Well, let's see.
They'll dig into it.
We got Dracula, we got Frankenstein, we got The Mummy with horrible remakes because they weren't horror.
The one with Brendan Fraser was action, sure. But as horror, no, it wasn't. It was boring as a horror movie.
We did have with Del Toro, not Guillermo, but the other Del Toro with Wolfman, which I thought was fantastic. Great fucking movie. And we've had The Invisible Man. Of course, they called it Hollow Man, which
I don't like Hollow Man.
I liked the first one.
The first one was good, but the second one with Kristen Slater wasn't so great. I've seen the original.
The original Invisible Man.
I
so
loved it.
Good.
Like I sat there,
so
and at the end, I felt satisfied.
Yeah, it was a great
as a movie watcher. I was like, I am happy with this.
And that's usually how black and white movies are. I mean,
and it was a silent film, wasn't it?
No.
Which one am I thinking that was a silent film?
Are you thinking Man Who Laughs?
It might be.
But anyway,
I know what I've seen.
Of course, there's the newest Frankenstein movie, which just came out, which is I, Frankenstein. It hasn't hit DVD or Blu-ray yet.
But from what you've seen, what do you think?
It looks good.
I see promising things.
I see promising things. I kind of like the fact that he's kind of a hero-esque character.
Which the original Frankenstein kind of was, I guess.
I mean, I kind of liked it. And, of course, there's other Frankenstein films like Bride of Frankenstein and Teenage Frankenstein, House of Frankenstein, of course.
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
We gotta mention it!
There's also two independents, which were The Frankenstein Theory, where it was a guy who believed that Mary Shelley's story was actually truth, and he goes out looking for it and proves his fact right. And then there was a World War II themed one called Frankenstein's Army, where Frankenstein actually built monsters for the Nazis out of dead Jews and soldiers.
Scary.
And it's such a fast-paced movie, and I actually bought it, and my brothers borrowed it for like the last 2 months, so I'm still waiting to get it back.
Go slap them and freaking get it back.
I'm not too worried about it because it's not on the review list anytime soon.
No, but it'd be cool to do in the future. That's an unusual one.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it in the future. No doubts there. It's very fast-paced. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about it. Anyway, what is your take? Obviously, your take on Frankenstein is it's your favorite gothic monster. What is your favorite?
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, the original.
With Boris Karloff.
With Boris Karloff.
Well, not the original, because the original was the Thomas Edison hunk of shit.
Let's not even go there. I meant the actual more than an hour original.
It's got to be counted, though. It's got to be counted because it was the original. So, but you're talking the Universal.
The
Universal classic.
Yes.
Not the original, but the classic.
I like that one, but I like comedy movies a lot.
So you're gonna go with Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein was
for me.
Awesome.
As much as I love Boris Karloff and I love the Universal guys, I actually have to go with Robert De Niro and
I've seen that one. That was awesome.
That's the closest to Frankenstein that I've ever seen.
That's cool.
However, my favorite Frankenstein in any medium, believe it or not, is actually from a manga.
Really?
From a manga, I think it only ran for 3 volumes. It's called A Midnight Opera, and you actually meet Countess Elizabeth Bathory, and you find out that she's a vampire, and you meet Einbleck and Leroux. I can't think of what their last name is, but you find out that they're werewolves. And then you actually meet Victor von Frankenstein.
So it kind of throws them all together.
Yeah, but you meet Victor von Frankenstein in modern day Paris.
Oh,
you found out that he actually made himself into the monster.
Oh, cool.
And he's, super strong, but he's got his brains and everything. And he actually originally started off working for Einbleck as a bodyguard. And then he actually turns on him because he finds out that Ein's brother Leroux loves Elizabeth, but he loves Elizabeth. So in order to get back at the family, he actually brings Ein's dead lover from like the 1800s back to life, although he's got a new lover. So again, we have a love triangle, but that stops the 3rd fucking volume, and I don't know what happens after that because Tokyo Pop dissolved after that. So I don't know what happens, and it pisses me off because I've contacted the guy who wrote it on his Facebook, and I'm like, please tell me what happens. I want to know.
Yeah.
And I guess that he's in talks with because I guess in Germany where he lives, they've continued on with it.
But it's
German, not in English, so I guess that
you would have to get a translator.
I guess that he's in talk with Tokyo Pop UK to get it done, which I'm hoping for because I want to know what the fuck happens.
I want the ending.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know if Ein realizes, she's dead and my heart's gone on to the other chick, or if he's going to go back and side with his brother and the other monsters, and he's going to try and take down the Vatican, who's been trying to eradicate the monsters. Like, the Vatican actually has a full-on assassination league trying to kill these monsters.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can see that happening too.
Yeah, and there's a great scene in Volume 3 where the Vatican actually has 2 werewolves on their side, or one is, but the other one they have down in this prison. Mm-hmm. And the one that's on their side, he walks up to him, and the one who's chained up looks at him and he says, "So you're telling me that even God needs the devil's help?" And it's like one of the best lines I've ever read. I'm like, that is a great fucking line. But I love that version, and I love Frankenstein in general. I love all the Gothic horror monsters. There's not one that I dislike. But yeah, for movie wise, it's definitely the Robert De Niro, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I absolutely love that version. All right, so let's get into our artist of the week. Again, this is a sad one, and I know we've been doing a lot of those lately, and I apologize. This actually happened about a week or a half ago.
Yeah, something like
about
that.
a week and a half to 2 weeks. And we're talking about the passing of Dave Brockie, better known in the metal world and even outside of the metal world as Odorous Urungus from the band Gwar. And, you know, just a couple of years ago they lost Flatus Maximus, who was their guitar player, I believe. So there's been a lot of death recently.
Gwar's taken a big hit.
They have, and I'm not sure they're going to continue. I mean, it's one thing to replace, you know, a drummer or a guitarist,
but
because
the lead singer is the voice.
Because it's not, as much as Gwar is faces of a band, no matter what band it is, whether there's masks or makeup or whatever, it always comes back to the singer. You know, it's not, or even like, it's not like Kiss where all the members are singing.
Yeah.
Where with Odorous, it's pretty much strictly Odorous.
He's the voice of Gwar, and if you have anybody else in the place, you're not going to be accepted.
Yeah, it's not going to be,
especially with a fan base like that.
Yeah,
I mean, Gwar's
been
fan base
going on
is
for
freaking strict.
35 years. They're one of the most powerful, like you said, fan bases of any band, let alone in pop, metal, any genre. And you know, their songs were goofy, no doubt. There, like they had songs like "Preschool Prostitute," "Gorgo," or of course they paid tribute to Alice Cooper.
But that's just
a cover of "Schools Out."
That
was their whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was their shit.
That was the point.
And the thing is, they were a band that really didn't take themselves seriously. And I remember watching. I think it was Sally Jesse Raphael when I was a kid, because my grandmother used to watch all those fucking stupid talk shows, and she did an episode of shock rock, and she had Gwar on, and she says it reminded her of WWF meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it kind of was, because you know, back in the day they had wrestling matches while they were doing their concert, which was cool. And they wore costumes that were kind of something like you would see in a Kevin Eastman comic.
Goofy, yeah.
So it was really cool. And I don't know how long you've been a fan of Gwar. I've been a fan of Gwar for many years. My dad got me hooked on Gwar, just like a lot of the other bands that I've learned about. And I had the opportunity back in 2012 for my birthday going to Rock and Shock. Gwar was one of the headlining bands that were there, and I've got a poster around here somewhere. I'll try to find it so that way I can have it hung up with my other autographed shit that the guys autographed. And of course, Odorous was the first guy I met, and I had bought a movie that he was in, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, can you sign this too? And I'm going to pull the slip out so that you can sign that, and he actually pulled it out of my hand and he signed the plastic instead. So like, if my hand was there for too long, so it kind of smudged, which sucks. But we actually already reviewed the movie a while back, which was I Spill Your Guts. I think we've got that on an earlier episode.
Yeah, we do. I think so. I don't know. I'll check later.
If not, it was probably one of the episodes we tried doing, and unfortunately was lost in the vastness of cyberspace. But yeah, like I said, I love Gwar, and you know, I hope that they'll continue, because I do love the band and they have such a strong fan following. but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Dave was one of the original members.
Yeah.
He was one of the few that stuck around through the whole shitfest. And I love the guy as a singer. I loved him as a frontman. Hopefully he's resting in peace.
I would say so.
He's probably in hell raping Satan with the cuttlefish of Cthulhu. Hopefully we'll hear something from the band. Maybe they'll continue, maybe they won't. Who knows? Slipknot surprisingly did after Paul died, because a lot of them said, it's not going to happen.
But
some bands do, some bands don't. I mean, look at Pantera. After the death of Dime, they didn't.
They just.
So, who knows?
But we'll see. I'm sure in like the next year or so, if things collect together and they do another album, then they'll be out.
I would be cool with another album, but who knows? All right.
Actually, I have some horror news, or not horror news, but like just news of an artist that we both really like.
Okay, sure.
Johnny Cash's new album, the
Yes.
one that Columbia pulled,
Yes.
is number 3 on the top.
Wait, they pulled it.
Columbia pulled it back in 1985.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and
it just got re-released.
It got released for the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's number 3 on the
That's
on the
right.
top
I
list.
actually saw that at Walmart, and I almost picked it up because I love Johnny Cash. Probably one of my favorite singers of all time.
Oh, easily one of my favorite singers.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to pick that up then.
But
I'm definitely gonna have to pick that up.
yeah, it's just under. It's under Shakira and her freaking self-titled new album.
Fuck Shakira.
I know.
Actually, I don't hate Shakira. She's alright, I guess. I don't really like.
Not in the pop.
Well, I wouldn't call her pop. She's more like samba music, which it's all right. Like, I don't mind Hispanic music. I like Hispanic music, but it's not really something I would listen to all the time. Like, I can listen to Johnny Cash all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I could throw a CD in and I could just listen to it for days and I'd be happy. And there's very few musicians that I can do that, where I can just like, let's listen to the whole fucking.
It's under that, and it's under Frozen, the soundtrack.
I
Frozen.
love that fucking movie.
That's an awesome.
I don't care how much of a nerd that makes me sound. Like, I fucking love that movie.
I saw the movie in the theaters.
So
and
did
I
I.
walked out and I was like, you know what? That's like one of the only pure Disney movies I actually really like.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie.
So that's a.
Dude, I actually have a couple of the songs on my iPod.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I don't even have that.
And the big one that everybody fucking loves, Let It Go.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. I saw that movie right after, like, going through kind of a really depressing time in my life. And when that fucking song played at the theater, I'm like, that song's gonna be a hit. And sure enough, it, like, blew up. There was fucking YouTube videos of kids singing it and everything. And then Good Morning America did a literally countrywide sing-along. They had the artist who sang it, who played the character.
That's cool.
And then there was just kids. They would cut to kids singing along. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I'm like, that's actually really cool.
So, but yeah. So it's under those. He's just under those two, but it's like one of the top.
That's pretty rad.
It's his third biggest album since he died.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, there's only been 3 albums, but it's definitely his biggest.
Okay, I gotta ask, talking about artists who have died still putting out records. And I know you're not a huge.
We're talking about Tupac.
We are talking about Tupac.
I am actually. I'm actually kind of a fan of Tupac. I like some.
All I want to know is, do you believe that Tupac's record producer actually has a Stargate and brings Tupac from another world back to release an album every couple of years?
I do.
Because it's always new material. It's nothing old. You can't tell me that there's that much shit that guy recorded that was never used.
Maybe it's some of his really early stuff that he put on CDs and shit beforehand.
But even so, that stuff should have been depleted by now. And they're still putting out new albums.
That's true.
It makes no sense.
Maybe he's still alive. He's in hiding like Elvis.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do you think the producer has like a Stargate or something, and he's bringing him from another world because he's just like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I'm tired of being shot at. Because every time that he saw Biggie, it was like, Biggie, Tupac. If you don't get that reference, it's
I get it.
You know that reference?
Yes.
Fucking Robot Chicken. All right. Anyway, so that's the end of the episode. I'm sorry that we went from something that was kind of sad to
Just in time, too.
super, super funny.
We got 2 minutes.
So we will be back hopefully in a week.
Yeah, I would say a week. We
With,
got nothing else to
what
do.
2 films were you doing? Mirrors,
Yeah, I'm doing Mirrors, and I'm thinking of
Metropolis. You were saying.
doing Metropolis. Yeah.
All right, cool. I am doing.
I gotta watch it
I'm
first, though.
finally doing.